Goodness, 2 week wait, it's been long. Last week I was ready for a chapter. The fact that there wasn't a chapter made me mad. I really wanted a chapter last week, but we got one this week. We left off last time. Sorry if I'm low energy, I'm tired. We left off last time where we had gotten the All for One backstory. We got we got like the real, like, what was life like at the dawn of quirks. And what we learned at the beginning of the series was the history version, right? Because we know a lot of people, like, history is written by the victor, or history is rewritten so that certain things aren't remembered, right? Like, purposefully. So we kind of got like the media version of the glowing baby and how it was the first one. But in all actuality, we find out that this, I don't even want to call her a woman, because I don't think she was that old. I think she was really young. She was a teenager. It's my guess. How they explained people developing quirks when they hit puberty, and her developing like the stab thing, those bumps on her arms, her developing those just randomly makes me feel like she wasn't that old. And she had twins, and turns out to be Yoichi and All for One. And yeah, we got all that good stuff. Great stuff. I drip fed a little bit of information about like how people were reacting on the interwebs. You guys would have to let me know, but something about how something like to do with incest, and then so like others, it was just like I don't know. I've reread that chapter. I'm not lying to you. Panel for panel, investigating, going through. I've maybe five to seven, maybe 10 times reread that chapter, like really looking at it, and all reaches, all reaches. So we'll see what the hell this chapter has in store. But as far as that goes, that just seems insane. It's just people out of touch. They need to go touch Earth. They need to do something. But yeah, let's hop in. 408. Here we go. 408. I don't know what I'm looking at. He named his brother Yoichi. So All for One named him with the kanji characters for bestow and one, because his brother was the very first thing given to him in life. Wow, he destroyed him. This was, if you're not recognizing what this is, last chapter, if you go to 407, whenever the second shows up and he's running away right here, he's like, hey, like, who are you? Get away from him. And he's like, if I can't have him, if you don't want to be mine, because he viewed Yoichi as like a possession. This is where I'm assuming people are getting the incest reach thing. Like, if you refuse to be mine, it's just like, no, like from the moment they were born, since the moment they came out of the womb together, he had him gripped. He had Yoichi gripped like this, wouldn't let him go. He views him as his most prized possession. Damn it, it's the most important thing he has. So people are weird. All right, so I'm pretty sure this is Yoichi that has been torn to shreds. Terrible. The eyes tell all. Splash. At this point, it had been 2 months since his brother had walked away from him. Oh. Okay. He locked eyes with the young man who'd stolen away his brother, that precious possession of his. Dude, that was Yoichi he killed. Yeah, he killed Yoichi because he was holding him. He was holding his hand. From birth, there'd been no shine to his own eyes, as if they were clouded by thin membranes. Really. The sight of the young man was never reflected in those eyes. Is he blind? No. No. I'm about to be like, no, I'm like, how they're making it seem. The sight of the young man was never reflected in those eyes. Like, they're making it seem like he's blind. Hold on. Hold on. The sight of the young man was never reflected in those eyes. We got the aftermath of this too, right? Because we got the panel of when he had the second gripped, and he was like, I think we didn't get to see All For One ask it, but the second was like, Yoichi, what are you talking about? Like, you killed him. And it's kind of like it felt like from that scene, the little snippet of panels we got, that he was in denial that he killed Yoichi. But the second one was like, no, you did that. Like, you killed him. Like, I didn't kill him. He didn't kill himself. It was you. All right. Okay. Here we go. The meta of who said that? Someone said that last week. Someone said watch. He took that hand. He took Yoichi's hand and saved it. The meta ability I thought I had granted him is gone. He had foisted a power on Yoichi, despite the latter's insistent refusal to accept that which had been stolen from others or used to force others into servitude. I've never observed such a thing before. My own power confirms that there's no meta ability left in Yoichi. I used to wonder if I'd somehow stolen his actual power when I was too young to be aware of it. I thought the same thing. I asked that question. Hold on, let me look in the Discord. I asked that question 11/22, whatever day that was. I just dropped in here. It was like, I'm like, there's no way that All For One took his power when they were like in the womb by accident. He just didn't know it. I asked the same thing. 11/22 at 10:10 in the morning. I was at work. I should have been actually working, but you know. But no further examination showed that he did have one. An insignificant, non-functioning bit of trash that my own power couldn't even recognize as a proper factor. That's interesting. So All For One didn't even know his brother had a quirk. I know it's been floated around that he didn't, but for him to have been like, I investigated it and I couldn't find one. Let me reread this. Sorry. But no further examination showed that he did have one. An insignificant, non-functioning bit of trash that my own power couldn't even recognize as a proper factor. And like his eyes gets a little wider, it looks like. As if the factor never quite took form when it should have due to malnourishment. Did it somehow activate itself? So because his growth was stunted as a child, and All For One took everything when they were in the womb, it's like it had a delayed effect. Hey boss, that day when he gave us a thrashing, All For One didn't manage to touch you, right? Give it a rest, Bruce. Oh, we have a name, Bruce. What a name. Just give me the results. Spit it out. You mentioned something about your body feeling off since then. And I'm surprised you even noticed. You've got 2 factors in you. Your original one plus some kind of unformed dud. The fact that they ran that test and seen that. Right. I thought that might be the case. The meta ability I granted him was essentially absorbed by his own to make up for what it was to make up for what it lacked, stolen in a sense. I couldn't put a stop to my brother. Hold on. It's making me feel like it's making me feel like whoa, I know the series. I feel like the series is about to like give me some juice, but how he's phrasing this, I don't know if this is to be this is just how he thinks because he has the ability to steal quirks. We know that, well, how it was explained to us via All Might was that Yoichi had a quirk, an insignificant quirk of being able to pass on quirks, and he gave him the stockpile quirk, and it like merged. But what if, like, okay, so I'm jumbled. Sorry. All for One's quirk is the ability to just take quirks and give quirks. Right? It's the take and give, the take and give, the take and give. So one person has the ability to harness all of these different quirks, but then to give them away. But what if Yoichi's quirk isn't just this insignificant thing to pass quirks on? What if it is to, like, what if his quirk, if it wasn't malnourished, right? If it wasn't malnourished, what if his quirk was a way, I don't even know how to like explain this. It's like a different version of what All for One is doing, and not necessarily the opposite. I don't know. That's crazy. All right. I'm just thinking. All right, sorry. And here we go. So when All for One says this up here, the meta ability I granted him was essentially absorbed by his own to make up for what it lacked, stolen in a sense. So basically, the stockpile quirk basically was the nourishment for Yoichi's own quirk to be able to activate and for him to use it. I couldn't put a stop to my brother. You kept me alive. He only sees other human beings as playthings or as prizes to win. If only you could have found even a bit of compassion for others. It's like within me, Yoichi's will still lives on. The both of them having like reflections of Yoichi, but in different settings, right? This is in like their little place, their hideout. And this is them in the slums. And they both came to the same conclusion of, it's like within me, Yoichi's will still lives on. But it's basically like, so you mean tell me my brother's still out there somewhere? That panel. The ability to both give and take could have been the kindest, most charitable power the world's ever known. Wow. Oh, whoa. My crocodile tears served to cause confusion and dismay. All that I loathed. All that I had loathed, I had manipulated, and everything I coveted and corrupted to make it all my own. I only want to make you mine. Yet, you never behave as I wish. I hunt and pursue. Now, all right, I just wanted to read that. Now we're going to look at all these panels, because we've seen this one and we've seen this one before. Because I was like, damn, he's crying over his brother. I remember looking at it. But now, that's the third. Damn. Stabbed right through him. If I'm not mistaken, that looks like he's going right through him. Look at him up there. You got Garaki. Oh, he's run down on Banjo. Oh. Bro, he cut him in half? Oh, goodness gracious. I wanted to see the whole fight. Oh, but at least I get to see it. At least I get to see it. Oh. At least I get to see it. I want to see the whole fight, but at least we get a panel of it. What I think is interesting is like looking at this. It's like he's got the second choked up, he's got the third choked up, but you get the banjo, and it felt like it feels like he's been super strong and powerful, but it was like as the generations got on longer and longer, they were able to touch him, right? Get close to him. All like it was like they were. It's just it. Gotcha. Okay. Man, I wish I could get this whole fight. I'll take this. You see All Might's gut ripped wide open. Look at it right here. Like this is where his body's supposed to be spilling out all over there, covered in blood. Look at him. Punched his head dead off. Garaki got his body. Wow. That's so he was dead. Kudo was his name. I forgot. Kudo was the second name. Bruce is the third name. Garaki got his damn body. He was dead. So even in a sense, All for One is like Nomu-esque too if he brought him back to life. If he brought him back to life then. So All Might did kill him. That's why All Might's so confused as to him still being alive. He did kill him. You're to blame for all of it, Kudo. Look at him, disgusting. Kudo's bloodline was ended, leaving nothing to chance. I even eliminated every woman and child he'd been close to. If Kudo's blood somehow runs through the boy's veins, surely I would have sensed it that first time. So are we doing that there is a piece of One for All in Bakugo if he is related to Kudo? If he is related to the second, then hold on. It just depends on when he would have had kids, though, right? My brain just shut off. I turn the page. I'm sorry. My brain just shut down. My brain just shut down. Okay. My bad. Memory shut off. I didn't know what I was doing. All right. It's all in the eyes. Back then, his eyes didn't yet have that look to them. Just an incidental resemblance. Oh. Yet I'm convinced that a willful resolve resembling Kudo's has crossed time and space to thwart me. Okay. So he's basically saying there's no way that this kid's related to him. And it's just the universe has it out for me. Like that, the universe is out to get me. The fact that this boy, all right, forcibly warping him away won't do much to tear this thorn from my side, because the only viable warp points are All Might and Tomura, who are nearby to start with. I can't afford to drag out this battle, as it would shrink me further. Even when I do reach Tomura. Right. It's not like, okay, I get to Tomura and I win. He has to subjugate him too. Conflict is inevitable. as he already rejected me once. I kind of wish we were still in the flashback, I'm not gonna lie. I must save all my remaining strength to succeed in that transfer. Bakugo still flipping and dipping and rolling and exploding and doing everything. Such was my thinking, but no, enough of this. Killing you, reaching my goal, executing the transfer are all one and the same. Ew. What the hell am I looking at? Ew. What is that? Whoa. What the hell is this? What are these black? What are those black orbs? Is this Shigaraki or is that Yoichi in the what's his face? Is that Yoichi? Here he comes. All right, first I need to like look what am I looking at? What am I looking at? These are all the people of the quirks he has, because that looks like Hawks to me. That looks like Hawks, no? See that person right? I'm about to full screen this. So is these all the people right here? This looks like Hawks. And because this looks so much like Hawks, I'm assuming that every face that we're looking at is the person of the quirk that he stole. Because we know from whenever All For One was talking before, whenever he gave us the explanation that personalities are in quirk factors, that's why people's personalities reflect the quirk that they have. And he was like, whenever I dream, I sometimes hear like the screams and the voices of the people that I took the quirks from. And it's not like, oh, from when I stole them. It's like, no, like I hear them screaming out to me. Like they're all in here with me. And it's like this dark, twisted way of, yeah, I got hundreds or thousands of people screaming and angry with me, and it doesn't bother me in the slightest. That's some dark stuff, man. That's crazy. All right. Let me zoom out. I'm trying to Omni-Factor unleash All For One goal. Gotcha. He's got these orbs, and what is this? This looks disgusting. He's got those ring things that he was using to like fly and boost and stuff and shoot energy. I'm trying to see if I recognize faces, but Hawks is the only one that looks like Hawks. That you can't tell me that's not him, especially since we know he took his quirk. This is crazy looking. Holy crap. All right. I will look at this. Look at the city. Oh, Bakugo. A massive energy surge to fuel his propulsion? Does he intend to claim victory with this single burst? This'll revert him back to a baby. He's bet the whole shebang on this. Yeah, he's going... Dude, if Bakugo stops this, he's goated. If he stops this, he's goated. So basically what All For One is doing, if you didn't understand, he's putting everything in the one. So this blast is going to kill Shigaraki, it's going to kill Bakugo. It's going to incapacitate Shigaraki. It's going to do this one attack is going to do everything that he needs so that he can now get the body and be fine. Otherwise, it's over. He can't waste time on Bakugo because he'll revert too far. He can't try to go for Shigaraki because Bakugo will get in his way and Deku will get in his way and Shigaraki will fight him back. So it's just like all or nothing. All or nothing. So whatever the hell is about to happen here, if this series isn't ending in like 10 chapters, whatever is about to happen here, it's about to flip the whole battlefield on its head. dude, if Bakugo stops this, if he stops this, it's crazy. Insane. Hold on. All right, so dodge it, kid. And then we got the beads of explosion going off. Oh, he hit his heart. Is he exploding his heart? Some genius I am. How could I ever hope to beat that? Is that it? Fuck. Ah, man. What are we gonna do? Because it looks like right here, he put his hand on his chest, and he's like, he like hit his chest like the exploded, like, or give an explosion. Like, I don't know what he's gonna do. I'm pretty sure he's gonna do some sort of like kamikaze howitzer, because we haven't seen a howitzer in a minute. So he's gonna do like some kind of crazy kamikaze howitzer. To keep it a bean, I know this is not gonna happen. I don't want this to happen, but to be honest, I would, if I'm Deku, I'm looking at Shigaraki like, hey, I know we kind of beefing right now, but I don't want that to happen, and you don't either. So let's see if we can stop that. We talked about this like 6 months ago. Like, what if like Shigaraki, because we know Hori is a Star Wars fan. We know he likes the older movies more than the newer movies, but we know he's a Star Wars fan, and we know he watched them newer movies. Like, what if he got Shigaraki to fight alongside these two against All For One? Like, what if that actually happened? We did a temporary ceasefire so that we could make sure we stop All For One and handle him, and then we go back to fighting. We talked about that. We definitely talked about that. If you missed that conversation, I can't tell you what chapter it's under, but we definitely have talked about that. If not the last 6 months, the last year, we've definitely talked about it. And if I'm Deku and I catch a glance of that over there, I'm like, yo, ceasefire for 5 seconds. It'll be foolish to let Shigaraki go, because I let Shigaraki go, he's gonna be like, ha ha ha, and try to get me. But I'm like, hey, I know you don't want him to come over here, and I don't want him to come over here either. But we got to stop that. Yeah, I don't know how you make it work, but it'd be funny. And it'd be crazy if they actually did make that work. They done off All For One, and then it's just like, all right, you want to do this for real now? Yeah, let's do it. Come on, man. I would not be upset with that. If these three somehow do a temporary ceasefire and beat All For One, right? Beat him like he's done, and then it's just like, all right, you want to do it? Like, you want to get down for real now? Yeah, I would like that. I would like that. Let's do this. Let's throw down. I don't know. We're in a pickle right now, though, because Shigaraki still feels like he has so much more that he can do. Feels like he can kick it up another level in a fight. And we know right now, Bakugo, there's only but so much more that he can take, because we know that these explosions are hurting him. He's not immune to them, right? This isn't like Shoto being like immune to his own fire, where he uses the fire and it doesn't burn him and he can regulate them. No, these explosions hurt Bakugo. He's just tanking them right now. He's just allowing it to happen. Because there's nothing he can do. It's just going off now. He's just going crazy. But these explosions are hurting him. He's just dulling, like he's just trying not to think about the pain. So he's got but so much left, right? He's got but so much left. There's not much left that he could do. Like, Bakugo doesn't think he can stop this. I don't think he can stop this. Unless some edge shot powers kick in right now. There's no way for him to stop this on his own without him kamikazing himself, blowing himself up. There's no way for that to be a thing. Um, yeah, right now it feels like, as far as like the four people that are here, All For One, Bakugo, Deku, and Shigaraki. Shigaraki is the one that's in the driver's seat because All For One is literally in a race against time, and he's just banging everything on this one big attack. Bakugo's clock is ticking, and Deku doesn't have gear shift anymore, if I'm not mistaken. Right? I have to go back and read. I don't think, because no, he only has one more chance to use it. Once he uses it, no matter, he said it. Once I use gear shift again, no matter what, I'm done. I'm not going to be able to move. And gear shift is really what's kind of putting him over the edge. It's what's turning him in from being end of Dark Deku arc to Continent Destroyer. It's basically the separation right now. Gear shift is it's basically taking Deku from being like this really powerful kid into like he's a reality breaker right now. Like he's breaking, like with gear shift, he defies the laws of physics. Literally, he's defying the laws of physics with gear shift. So that's like in the realm of like fighting to defy the laws of physics. Like that's something that I don't know how you game plan for. How do I game plan for something that I kind of can't comprehend? I don't know. But it's like, it feels like Shigaraki's in the driver's seat. Like he's here. He's gonna keep going. We know he's got the regenerate. He's got all that stuff popping. It's just, what the hell are we gonna do? How do we do this? We need a reprieve. We need a reprieve. We need a reprieve. We do. We need a reprieve. Dude, I have no idea. What the hell is gonna happen? I wonder. I don't know how it's gonna. I don't know how it's gonna. How they're gonna stop this. Like, All For One is charging at them with like some ultimate like quirk. Omnifactor Unleash. All for one goal. He's activating all of the quirks at the same time. That's what he's doing. Like every quirk that he has stored in his body, he's activating them all at the same time and he's just going for broke. He's just going for broke. I don't see any way. See, this is where it's just like, I don't like the whole Bakugo thing is such a mystery. We know that his explosions are powerful. Right now, Bakugo's sitting here like, dude, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to stop that? Now, we don't know if there's some edge shot stuff that's going to pop in and possibly help out. We don't know if other heroes or other classmates might have tried to get to this battlefield if they could have, to try to help out. And I don't know if Bakugo would be up for doing like a final explosion, howitzer style, right? He does a final explosion. I genuinely, I don't know. I have no idea if he would be down to do that. I have no idea if he'd be down to do that whatsoever. I don't know if that's going to be in the cards for him to do like a final explosion. Just be like, you know what? Screw it, and just dump everything, just blow everything up. And if I stop him, I stop him. If I don't, then damn. I don't know. I have no idea. I can't call. I can't call it. I can't call it. I have no idea how this is gonna go. It's gonna, if it's not going to be some edge shot stuff kicking in, if it's not going to be Deku and Shigaraki pulling up like, all right, we'll stop this guy, then we'll fight after. If it's not that, or if it's not Deku choosing to let Shigaraki go, or knock it, like just full power smash Shigaraki and blow him back mad far so that he could like go help Bakugo, and they could do like some sort of double Detroit smash like from movie 2 and replicate that scene again. But like howitzer slash, I don't know, you do something like that, combo attack, right? Final Kamehameha type stuff. You could do something like that maybe, and then we just have to deal with the blowback of Shigaraki like not being locked down by Black Whip right now. Dude, I don't know. I have no idea. Besides some random person coming in to help out right now, or Bakugo unlocking One for All. And if it's not anything crazy like that, I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know what it's going to be. Right now, I wouldn't mind it if Deku and Shigaraki shot each other a look, and it's like a temporary truce, and you get your everything connects back to Dragon Ball. You've been here long enough. Everything connects back to Dragon Ball. And you get your moment from the end of the Tournament of Power, where it's like, I never thought in my wildest dreams that Goku would be standing next to Frieza and 17 fighting on the same side. And you get some weird moment where you have Bakugo, Deku, and Shigaraki fighting all for one so that he doesn't try to kill us all. Because essentially that's what this is. Like, All for One is trying to subjugate Shigaraki, steal One for All and kill Deku, and then kill Bakugo too because he reminds him so much of Kudo. And he's in the way. So it's like, we either could fight together for a split second and stop this guy, or we do what exactly? Because he's going crazy right now. He's destroying everything in his path. What do we do? Like, what do we actually do? I have no idea. I'm stumped. This is a this is a good chapter though. This is a really good chapter. This was a really good chapter. Dude, I don't know where people got this incest thing from. I think that's just people being horny themselves. I don't know where you get the incest thing from. Like, are you just assuming that because All for One is this guy and he would have wanted to clap cheeks eventually? I don't know. Or like he loved his brother in a way that was more than that. I don't know where this incest thing comes from, when it was clearly stated at the beginning of last chapter that when All for One, like from before All for One was born, he had malice in his heart for everything. And he had little Yoichi's arm gripped, dragging him everywhere he went. And he viewed Yoichi as his most prized possession. Not once in any of these panels in this chapter or last chapter has it insinuated anything about an incestuous relationship. So people just putting that out there, stop being weird. Stop being weird. Stop being weird. We're like, All for One is not even like, he's barely a human. He's like an entity. Dude's been evil since before birth. Like, he, as a fetus, he stole his mother's life energy. So when she had them, she died. And was often people like, you have to like really realize, it's just like, it was hard to gauge how old they were whenever you see him in like the trash bag and he kills all those like soldier people, because he was like this big as a baby. And Yoichi was like this tiny because he's absorbing everything, taking all the nutrients, all that stuff. So it's like hard to tell like how old they were in that scene. Dude could have been like 3 or 4, right? He could have been like 4 years old, offing people, right? Got grown men gripped up by their neck, killing them. Stuff like that. Like, The dude's massive. We see him. Like, you see perspective shots whenever he's getting out of Tartarus. And he's standing there, and Shigaraki's, like, up to his belly button. The man's massive. He's a giant. And it's like, whatever he wanted, he got. And it was the fact that this obsession over all of this just to take over everything. I want everything. And to think the man was playing mind games. He tricked me whenever he's sitting there on the panel when he had Kudo choked up and he's crying, and I'm like, damn. He's crying over Yuichi? Like, I didn't even think he was capable of feeling that way. And then this is him saying, my crocodile tears serve to cause confusion and dismay. So it's just like I'm fake crying. I'm just throwing you off. I'm making you overthink it. I can't stand your ass. I want to destroy all y'all. Only thing I want is that. The one thing that I want and I can't have. Right? That's what it is. I'm able to take quirks. I'm able to do whatever I want. I do whatever I want. I do whatever I want. I have whatever I want. No one can stop me but you. The one thing that I've came into this world with. You're running away from me? You're running away from me. You're the one thing I want. I need you because I can't have you. You keep running away. We don't agree on anything. We don't see eye to eye on anything. I named you. I saved you. Right? It's all those things. I did all this. It's like I kind of did all this for you. I'm doing all this so that we could do this, and you're running away from me. That's basically what it is. Right? I'm doing all this and you just running away. You keep going with them? Huh? It's just like, you know what? If I can't have you, nobody can then. I don't know. Like, I can't do this. Like, I need you. That's all I want. The one thing I want, and I can't have it because you keep running. You're doing too much. You're doing too much. So it's like, that's who he is. That is who he is through and through. I need to say this, and I need people to say this too. I'm not on the internet. I don't know what people are saying about All For One, about this background story. Usually in shonen series, when you get the backstory of the main villain, it's usually dog trash. It's usually terrible. Hori put some respect on him, because this backstory for All For One, honestly, this backstory for All For One it's the best that I don't think you could have done it any better. I don't think you could have done it any better. It's like the perfect backstory for him. It doesn't take away anything from him. This backstory does not undermine how evil of an entity he's been throughout the whole story since he was ever introduced. Since he was insinuated that he even existed. Nothing in these last 2 chapters has undermined him. Nothing. You have it explained now that his mother was the first quirk user. That's just how I'm taking. The mother was the first quirk user. She had 2 children. She was pregnant with twins, and both of them had quirks. Because of the nature of All For One, he stunted Yoichi's growth so that we couldn't figure out he had a quirk. Stole his mama's quirk. He's, to me, the second quirk user. Right? The rats came, nibbled on the body. Whatever disease she had to make her cause to get what we call quirks. And they spread that joint around. And now all this stuff is happening. We get the explanation that people that are going through puberty, they're developing quirks. You have all these kids that are being born, all this stuff. You have All For One now confirmed, because we always speculated that he had to have been around, but he had to have been alive around the time of the dawn of quirks. And it's been like, what, 4 or 5 generations? So we were guesstimating it's been like 150 to 200 years since quirks were introduced. So now All For One is this entity. I don't even like to call him a person because he's an entity. He was born with malice and hatred for everything. For everything. And we get to see bits and pieces throughout their childhood that he was just a monster. He's just a monster. There's no, oh, he was a normal kid and then one day someone kicked his ball into the street and a car rolled it over. And yeah. No. There's none of that. No. Since before he was born, he was a monster. He was born a monster. He grew up a monster. He took over damn near the whole world. And couldn't, it's just, I feel like there's nothing undermines his character in any of this. As far as, put some respect on Hori, bro. Have to. Because come on, man. Come on, man. This dude, evil bastard. That's what he is. Through and through. Oh, man. I love it. I love it. I love it. I wish we could get like a spinoff. I would love to get a spinoff like give me like, you could give me like, I don't know, 2 volumes of All For One, that the time period. You don't need I would love a whole nother series, right? Of the Dawn, their lives leading up to whenever we start passing One For All along. Give me like 2 volumes. Give me the important moments. Let me see those, and then do me like how we've been doing these chapters. Skip me through some of these events. Time skip us. Are we skipping a few years here? We're skipping a few years here, because it's like the man has existed throughout all of Quirks. All of Quirks, and it's something that I mentioned too. I mentioned this a long time ago, because just how human development works. Because if you notice, anytime that they go back and they look at the dawn of Quirks, it looks modern, right? It's not like they go back and look at the dawn of Quirks and it looks like how early 1900s look for us, where it's like lower, it's like technology isn't advanced. It's like technology might not be as advanced as it was current day, but you have like the tall buildings, high, like society was already modern. It already was. And at the dawn of Quirks, this is what a lot of things that happen, like, twisted up again. Humans develop, right? Because we have to use our brains and we have to innovate in order to elevate. So the more we research and develop R&D and we figure out more efficient way to do things, that's when the quality of life goes up. That's when we advanced in technology, because we are constantly in the lab trying to advance our technology. So you look through history and you see the progression of technology because we have to innovate. But whenever you look at, and this is just for me, common sense, if you take away humanity's need to innovate in order to do certain things, then the advancements in technology will begin to get slower and slower. So if you had a society that was already growing, no one has special abilities, and we're invading, research and develop, we're doing all these things, and then now all of a sudden people are getting superpowers. So now, instead of me research R&Ding and advancing my technology so that we can do X, someone has a quirk that can do X. Now, all of the advancements that would have come from me trying to get to there, right? I'm trying to get to X, but I'm advancing and I'm getting things that can be used in other areas. Like, oh, I figured out how to do this more efficiently. Well, we could take, I'm still trying to get over here, but I can take this and apply it over here. And then I'm going to keep going that way. But now we can take that and go there. And now another group can take this that I put over here and take it somewhere else. And now we're advancing. We're building blocks everywhere. But now I'm not R&Ding anymore. I'm not getting to X because Jimmy can do X. Because he was born with an ability that just allows him to do X. So now I don't need to figure that out anymore. Jimmy, you go do X. Boom. Advancement comes to a standstill. That's why it's like we're 150 to 200 years past the dawn of quirks and society looks the same. We haven't advanced too much. We're not too far into the future from how it used to look. Whenever we look at these flashback scenes of All for One back here, whenever we look at it, we look at it and we see these tall look at these buildings. Like, look at this building and look at these buildings that exist when All for One is sitting here. This right here, you have to take into account. This right here was like 150 years ago. This is at the dawn of quirks. The second user's still alive. This is like what, 15 years, 20? This is like 20 years after the dawn of quirks. Like, this is like 20, like at this point in time, All for One and Yoichi, they're twins. They're no older than 20, 25. Like, look, this building right here. I gotta make this way more easier. This building right here, right? Because all of this stuff, they weren't old when all this stuff started to go down for them. They weren't old. They're in their, I would say they're in their 20s. I don't think they're in their 30s or 40s or nothing like that. They're in their 20s. This right here, this was in the same moment, right? The same moment where Yoichi is dead. The second user realizes that Yoichi passed something on to him. This scene, this big building, all these buildings. This is 150, 200 years ago. 200 years max, 150 years ago. This looks like current day. It's just like human advancements would slow down because of quirks existing. I don't know why I got all passionate about it, but it's just something that whenever you're speculating and figuring it out, we've sat here and we talked about this before, like a year ago, maybe longer than a year ago, about how human advancement would slow down because of the existence of quirks. There'd be no reason to do a lot of things because people have the ability to do it. Right? Things would slow down. Do you think you would take time to try to, I'm trying to think of, like, I don't know, my first thing goes like flying. Would flying be as advanced as it is? Would we have advanced so far in flying if people could just fly? I don't know. Maybe yes, maybe no. Who knows? Who knows? Like, would we be trying to figure out how to build things more efficiently if you have like a bunch of people like Cementos or people that could just build things on the fly, on the whim? Like, what part of the story was it when something got destroyed? Where was it? I think it was it Camino, where Camino got destroyed, or some area got destroyed, and and Cementos helped rebuild it in like 2 weeks or something, mad quick. It was like mad fast that Cementos helped out, and they just rebuild everything back to normal. What's the point? Like, we're not going to advance if it's just like this dude could just rebuild this. Then we just, all right, how we just want to build stuff? We just build stuff. There's no, like, are we innovating? Are we trying to find different ways to move steel, different concrete for it? I don't know. I don't know the specifics of that industry, but it's just, it's just cool to be like, hey, this shouldn't be a thing. And then when you actually pay attention, you get to like live in these moments with them. It's like they weren't old. They were not old when this stuff was going on. They were in their they were teens and in their 20s when all this stuff kicked off for them. And it makes sense why All For One, well, it was around this time whenever he met Kyudai Garaki. Anyways, we see it up here in the top left, whenever Garaki is sitting there looking at what's his face, looking at him in like this thing, they're all worshiping him and whatnot. It's like he would have given his core, duplicated it, he would have died, he brought him back to life, all this stuff. What a chapter, bro. I on one thing, I wish we spent more time back here. I'm glad we finally get to see it. I wish this would have been a whole chapter. I just wish that this was one whole chapter. And it has to be noted. I'm noting it. I'm not gonna not note it. All Might killed him. All Might killed him. That's how I'm looking at it. All Might killed him. All Might took it there. All Might, I'm tired of it. You kill my master, you killing everybody, you destroying everything. He killed him. And Kyudai Garaki snuck his way in there, and I'm going to assume did some Nomu stuff to All For One and brought him back to life. And that's how he came back to life. He did some Nomu stuff to him, brought him back, and then that's whenever they started perfecting the Nomu thing. Because right at that point, do we know if they had Gigantomachia? Do we know that? Because we know that Machia is the inspiration for the Nomu. They filled Machia up with quirks and he didn't die. And they were like, oh, maybe we could use this and kind of make an army of this guy. And that's when they came up with the Nomus. And All For One was able to crank them out like that because he has the ability to take and give. So I wonder if this was okay, All Might killed them, we bring you back to life, we get Machia, we do these tests, we figure this stuff out, and then we come up with the idea for the Nomus. And then that's when by that point in time we're already at the start of the series, pretty much, damn near. So I do wonder, like, what's the timeline on this? Like, were they already doing the experiments with Machia, and then he gets into this skirmish with All Might, dies, we bring him back, and then we try to expedite this stuff? I don't know. I wonder. Yeah. My hero's great. If someone says it's not, tell them to kiss you. Dude, I know it's such a weird thing to be like My Hero fan, because every series has people that love it, people that hate it. But My Hero, I feel like, gets so much hate. It gets so much hate because it's not other series. Right? It's not Jujutsu Kaisen. It's not this. It's not that. And it's just like, go read that series then. I don't know. It just comes to a point where it's just like, I don't feel like talking about this stuff no more. You don't like it? Oh well. Right? We've been listening to people piss and moan about My Hero for 9 years, something like that. Tired, right? People still bring up stuff from the beginning of the series. It's like, relax, bro. Dick is a crybaby. Whenever someone still brings that up as an argument, shoot me in the head. Shoot me in the head. Matter of fact, I shoot you. Because, right? Or, like, I've listened to a bunch of people talk about My Hero, and they'll mention things like, oh, this, or oh, that. And it's like, oh, because it doesn't 100% follow the generic shonen trope, you don't like it. But then you go after shows that do 100% follow shonen tropes. So it's like, is it a damned if you do, damned if you don't? I don't know. But I don't know. I feel like though one of my only criticisms of My Hero is I would love to have more fisticuffs. Right? There's always conflict. There's always fights, but the fights are never schedule, we come back. It's never those. Never. It's never those. We never have those. And that's the one thing I wish. I just wish we had more fights that were like choreography and they're like dances where it's just like, like I wish there was just more of those. But it's like, it's a superhero series. Superheroes don't throw down like that. Superman, like if you really look at it, Superman don't get down like that. Superman throwing haymakers. It's just laser beams and like it's never like these long drawn out fights. It's Dragon Ball Z fights. If we only did the Ki Blast fights, like I'm a Dragon Ball tard. Love, like I can't even properly rank Dragon Ball, so I don't count it whenever I rank my favorite series. Can't do it. I'm unabashedly biased towards that series. It can do no wrong. Even the trash series, even moments in the series that I don't like, can be better than the best moments in other series that I do like. I can never judge that series. I can't stand when we start using energy attacks in Dragon Ball. I love the hand-to-hand. Because I grew up watching Dragon Ball and early Dragon Ball Z where there was the emphasis of the martial arts. It's like the same thing whenever Naruto fans complain that whenever you get to Shippuden, they stop doing hand signals. Everyone's just doing jutsus. I'm like, it's never really explained, but I kind of get it. It's like we're trying to efficiently use our jutsus and take away the time it takes to do the hand signals for a jutsu. Because then it's just like, if I could just katon just straight, it's better than me doing katon. It's like I could be dead. So I get it. But it's I hate when the big energy blast stuff starts happening. Like my favorite fights are always the hand to hands, and then as soon as we get to the energy blast, I'm like, all right, the best stuff of the fights is gone now. Like perfect example is Goku and Cell after they finish their warm up, because they're having their warm up. It's fine, they're doing all that stuff, but then you get to the point where they both do the charge up. That's where you get like the iconic Goku crossing his arms and charging up, and he's glowing, and then Cell's glowing too, purple, and Goku's glowing yellow. They do that charge up, and then Cell's like, all right, serious now, and he goes behind Goku, and Goku can't react, and now it's just like, we're even. And then that's when you get into the fight, and it's the best. It's one of my favorite episodes in all of Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, GT, Super. It's one of that moment whenever Cell is a little bit faster than him, a little bit stronger than him, and Goku's like, I'm in for it. And now they're dogging it out, and they're going crazy. It's just hand in hand. We're here, and it's just like, it's great. And then we start doing energy blast. It's just like, all right, the best stuff of the fight's over now. But then the energy blast in that part is not that bad, right? But it's just like, I get the enjoyment of fisticuffs. I want to see punch, parry, pop, throw. I want to see that. but I'm never gonna get that from this series. It's a superhero series. No one's throwing down like that. It's big explosions, boom, we're flying fast, I'm never gonna get that from this series. I was never gonna get that from this series. And I still want it from this series. So it kills me when you don't get it. I just wish it's just like I would love it. I would just love it if I got it. Just give it to me. Please. Please just give it to me. It's not going to happen, but please. That's it. That's my only complaint about My Hero. It's the only thing that I would mark as a negative. I don't have really negatives from the series. It's the only thing I'll mark as a negative. I wish, like, if it gave me that, if they threw down and then devolved into these big superhero epic energy like if it started off as like and then all right, gear boom 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 and we going crazy. Oh my gosh. I'm telling you, I'll be having heart attacks. I'm getting amped up. I love this series, man. I really do. I really do love My Hero. Like, I'm not lying to you. It might be like one of my second or third favorite series, period. And it's not done. I love it. I really do love it. I really do love it. It's my one negative. It's my one negative. If I'm not lying to you, if we somehow stop All For One, I'm giving it to you like straight like this. This would be a perfect ending where I don't care how y'all feel. If the series were to go exactly like this, right? From this point here, Bakugo's sitting here and he's looking at All For One and he does not know how he's going to stop him. And we cut over to Deku and Shigaraki and we get like a temporary truce to stop fighting each other because All For One wants you, Shigaraki. All For One wants me too. Speaking as Deku, wants me too. We come to a temporary truce to stop him because we both don't want him to come over here. And if they can agree to that, and then we have Deku, Shigaraki, and Bakugo work together, and when I say beat All For One, and I'm thinking of there's no part 2 for this series. Because if there's a part 2, I still want All For One around somewhere. Little Orochimaru snake in the corner under a rock that gets away. Something like that. If there's going to be a part 2, All For One needs to be involved. But I'm thinking no part 2. These three work together and they stop him and we watch him rewind into a baby and then rewind out of existence. We watch him and then as soon as he rewinds out of existence and he is erased from existence, Shigaraki hand flies in and tries to take the quirk. Tries to take One For All. And then now we're in a 2v1 now. But this is when it's like Bakugo's gas, because I think we're coming up. They're both of them, Deku and Bakugo, are gas. So it makes me feel like another person. Like in series, it makes me feel like another person's about to jump in, because Deku has stated, "I'm if I use Gear Shift one more time, I'm done." And Bakugo can't keep taking these explosions. He can't. He literally can't, especially with this guy barreling down at him. They're both gas, so someone's gonna have to step in. If not, a group of people are gonna have to step in and get fodderized, maybe, I don't know, but someone's stepping in. It's your Naruto moment when the Hokage show up and Sasuke and Naruto were both out for the count, and Naruto needed to get healed by Sakura, so the Hokage step in, and to the point where you get the best one of the best panels in Naruto. Whenever Naruto's like, all right, I'm good. He goes into the new KCM mode with the short jacket with the orbs around him, and then so I think the series might go that way, where someone steps in, they get a breather, and then they come back full power to go up against Shigaraki again. But how I would love it is if the three of them watch All For One rewind out of existence. Bakugo he's down for the count. He can't really go no more, and we're in our 1v1 versus Deku versus Shigaraki. In this 1-for-1 fight, if we can get like, all right, we're doing stuff. Deku's flipping through all of his different quirks, doing all the stuff that he was doing against Muscular. He was doing against Nagant, all that stuff. We're getting to see him work, and he's working out. He's trying to do things. He's getting pressed, and then for whatever reason, I don't know what's going to activate it, he gets pressed to the point of he needs to use 100%. Because right now he's been using all of his quirks to get him to mimic 100. And Gearshit's been pushing him over that 100% barrier. But now, in this fight, he would have to be like how he makes the decision against Muscular when he's in the sports festival, and when he's making the choice to be like, I can't, like, full cowling is not enough. I have to go 100%, because if I don't go 100%, I'm going to lose. He hasn't been, like, ever since he's gotten access to the other quirks, ever since he's been able to get more out of full cowling, he hasn't had to do that yet. He's been like, all right, I'll use Fajin. Using Fajin combined with Black Whip, combined with this, gets me to the faux 100%. So I don't have to hurt myself. This fight has to push him to where he's like, okay, I'm at this perceived 100. I need to actually go 100. I can't get to this fake 100 and then try to push myself. No, I need to go 100. And then that's when we find out that the body can withstand it. That's when it is. That we figure out that the body can withstand it. He throws the 100%. And after he throws it, the arm's not broken. And he's like, oh, snap. And then that's when we go full 100%. Screw full cowling. Full cowling is just the placeholder because we can't harness the power. We know the body's starting to adapt. That's why the arms aren't getting hurt anymore. This fight needs to be the fight where he's free. There's no safety measures on. I can use 100%. And that's when you unleash the floodgates. That's what this fight has to be. It has to be that. I need to see him operating at 100% before he decides to do the perceived warp Kamehameha against Cell. Whenever it's just like, this is it. If I don't do anything, if I don't try to end this now, I'm not gonna win. But I need to see him operate at that 100% first. Before he does, he can't go 100% like I do this, and now he's the galactic meteor overdrive. I need to see him operate at 100% first. I need to see him operate at 100% first. See how overwhelming he is, or if Shigaraki can keep up, and then him being like, I can't keep this up. If it's something like I can't keep it up, I'm dishing out 1, 2, but it's starting to affect. I'm slowing down. Then he goes for the overdrive, 100%, boosted by Fajin, Black Whipping Force, like Omega, like smack, like then he goes for that, and then we do that and we win. That's how I would want this final encounter to go. It's not gonna happen that way. It's not gonna happen that way. But I would love it if that were the case. If it ended like that, it would be great. It's not going to. It's not going to. I'm pretty sure there's going to be either other heroes or other 1A class members that get to the battlefield to be the buffer between Deku, Bakugo, and All For One Shigaraki fused, or Shigaraki by himself, as they're trying to get like a chill pill and try to recover enough so that they can get back into the battle, and then we go into the final clash, where it's like, where is it, the final impact, the final drive, whatever, the final sequence, like how it's the I'm not gonna go details, like how Attack on Titan is, where it's like things have been going crazy, it's going crazy. This is happening, that is happening, this is happening, that is happening, and then we get to the point where it's just like we're kind of tapped out, there's nothing left, and then we get like the brief reprieve, and then it's just like we're heading into the final sequence. It's now or never. We have to do this now. And it's like, all right, fine, let's go. We tighten the scarf and then we take off into one of the best looking animated sequences of the year. I feel like we're gonna get that for this, where you're gonna have Bakugo and Deku tapped. Looks like all is lost. Either Shoto gets up, or Ingenium shows up, or another hero shows up, or like someone shows up to get in the way, even for a little bit, to stall them. This is the Endeavor showing up for All Might whenever All For One's about to kill him in Camino, when they're about to do the clash, and they all step in. It's just enough for All Might to get up and then get that last little bit. It's the same thing, and then we enter the finish sequence. So I think that's probably what's gonna happen, and how, I don't know. And I feel like the finish sequence is going to be a cascade effect, like how they cascaded Ida to Deku when he's trying to get away from them, when he's fighting class, when they're trying to bring him back to UA, and it was just like the mimic of how we had to go save Bakugo. I feel like it's gonna be the same thing, where it's gonna be like a cascade effect of this person, just to hide Deku, and he gets launched in for the final hit. I think that's how it's gonna end up being, like a team effort propelling Deku to the finish blow. That's what I think is gonna happen. So it's not what I want, but that's what I think is gonna happen. All right, I'm done. That way too amped up. I wanted to stop talking literally 15 minutes ago. I wanted to stop talking 15 minutes ago, but I'm out of here. Thank you guys. I appreciate you. Have a good rest of your Sunday. Have a good week coming up. I think there's supposed to be a chapter next week. Let's look really quick. Yep, there's a chapter next week. So have a good week, and hopefully, God willing, I'll see you guys right back here next Sunday for 409 of My Hero. So again, thank you. I appreciate you, and I'll see you. Peace out.